Good evening, everyone. This is Brother Benson, and I'm joined with my good friend and brother, Miguda. Miguda, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, bro. How about you?
I'm faring on well. And maybe if you have something new from your side, so that you can share with us.
So far, we
Mm-hmm.
are managing very well as a country, and the tempo is down right now. People have gone back to drawing board,
Yes.
and people are also trying to align for the forthcoming election. We are just focused on the IBC Selection Panel Committee going on with the interview
Mm-hmm.
for the people. That's all I have from my side.
Okay, we will also be discussing about the issue of Justin Muturi. President today sacked Justin Muturi and replaced him with Ruku, a member of parliament. We will be discussing that. Also, something on the discussion on the lips of the people, the passing on of the Elachi's son, that also we've seen quite different reaction. There are those kind of like celebrating and those who are not celebrating. And for those who are celebrating, they're just quoting some of the incidents. Remember the incident that happened at Bomas of Kenya, you know? So that one also, maybe we will give it a say, or we can talk something about it. Also, there's the issue of Governor for Nakuru, Susan Kihika, whereby the good citizen of Nakuru wrote a letter to the United States President, Trump, to deport Susan Kihika because he's almost like 5 years, 5 months, sorry, without being in office. And yesterday we saw the women legislators who had a press, and they defended the governor. So that is also something that also we will also be looking at. I'm also seeing Gypsum Corner in the comment section. Thank you so much for joining us. And we are here to discuss about what is taking place. Remember, even yesterday, the president called out Muturi to be incompetent. And before that, Muturi also responded through the tweet. I will read for you the tweet. I will look at for the tweet, and we can have a discussion on that. So that is what we are looking at. Oh, just to remember also, today at the funeral, the Right Honorable Prime Minister today also denied that he's not in government. Sijaingia kwa serikali, amesema hivyo. Sasa na pale ndugu yake pia anasema tuko broad-based government. So we don't know who is saying the truth or who is lying. So, but like the Kenyans have the freedom to know, because Kenyans are very bright people. Kenyans are people who are bright, and they know where the truth lies. The truth lies, I mean, Duari, thank you so much for joining us. And that is what we have. Biguda, what do you have on your end?
Actually, on my end, I had the issue. You have reminded me about the issue of Suzy, the Nakuru governor,
Yeah.
who has been out of the country for the last 5 months. She went to deliver in the United States of America. So we are trying to discuss why she decided to do so, but we understand that there's a difference between public life and private life. According to her, she's just within her private life and also capacity to do whatever she was doing. But now, she's also a public figure, and for that matter, a public officer. The public will not understand how, because like Susan Figure, other than being a governor, she has lived that private life, and she has been one of the descendants of the dynasty. And so you cannot compare Susan Kika to go and deliver in Nakuru General Hospital. And of course, the lifestyle. People forget that. People think that maybe because she's governor now, she has used the county money or the public money to go and do such things. Remember, Susan Kika also, she's having a permanent resident in the United States of America. And also, she's having a law firm there in the United States of America. So this is someone who is a dual citizen.
So let me
a dual
ask.
citizen.
talking about the dual citizenship, especially when you get a dual citizenship, does our constitution allows you to run for public office?
Hold that thought. Our constitution,
Yeah,
we have dualists. Let me give you an example.
yeah,
There is one, the former MP for Budalang, Babu Namwamba.
yeah,
Babu Namwamba is a dual citizenship, but he has contested for the Budalangi parliamentary seat
yeah,
in 2013 after we have the 20 constitution. And there are so many. That's just one example. Babu Namwamba is a dual citizenship. And even when the previous time you are voting for the presidential election in the United States of America, when you are going to your polling station,
yeah,
actually you voted as a diaspora voter
yeah,
in the embassy.
yeah.
So the constitution is very clear. It doesn't matter if you're a dualism, because you have acquired it through registration.
Mm-hmm.
You are at liberty to buy for any seat in the country.
Because do you know the reason why I'm asking you that? Because
I don't know.
when you are getting naturalized, yeah, one thing that you have to do, you have to denounce the citizenship of your country of birth. So what happens after denouncing that, which means you swear an allegiance of the country whereby you are being naturalized, and you find like a post or like an elective seat like governor or governorship. These are government entities, and there's that allegiance that you swore to keep the secrecy of the government. How do you keep the secrecy of a government that you already denounce? The country that you already denounce is you denounce your citizenship of that country.
I got your point. What I want to set is very clear that for you to acquire citizenship, there are
Yeah,
three ways of acquiring citizenship. First, you can acquire citizenship by birth. The fact that you are born in that country
yeah.
automatically become a citizen of that country. Doesn't matter. Then
Mm-hmm.
now we have issues where people go abroad to study, or we have issues like maybe people have gone to seek an asylum. For
Yeah,
instance, the issues when people are running from persecution from their country, the refugees issues, people have gone there because maybe religion, maybe race, maybe political instability. You can find yourself in other countries. Therefore, it's up to you to decide whether you want to register. The second one, registration. You can register, you can acquire through registration. And you have talked about naturalization, whereby you denounce. So the people who denounce, they are being naturalized as the citizen of that country, of the host country. But for the people who are registering, they don't denounce their citizenship of birth, where they come from, but they are now owning dualism, whereby they belong to more than one state through registration. Some people, for like in Kenya, for you to be registered, you must be here, for instance, like 7 years and above, and you can be naturalized. But the examples I've given you, the case of Kiika, the
yeah.
case of Ababu Namwamba, with them they were registered and they are dualism. They own more than one nationalist when it comes to citizenship, and they can participate politically into both countries. That's why I say that it doesn't prevent the Kihika or the likes of Ababu to contest for political seats in the country, because they have that right to contest. That is what I can say. But what I wanted to say, before I finish my point, you cut me.
Yeah.
I was saying
Mhm.
uh, the fact now the people of Nakuru expect Kihika to behave like a public officer, and also to suspend her private life and now to do the public life as a politician, which is not the case. If you go into logical reasoning and you look at it critically,
Mhm.
she's also having maternity leave. You can decide to have the leave wherever you want in the country. That doesn't mean that maternity leave must be taken within Nakuru.
Yeah.
Sometimes so we have to distinguish between the private life of a person and
Yeah.
the public life. And not that all people who are elected in the public office, now that all of them were elected when they were poor. No, some people came to power when they already established themselves and they were enjoying the private life. The fact that they're in public office, like some people are saying, some CS used to mismanage funds by traveling to, maybe was traveling to France, was traveling to Brazil during Olympics. But this person, someone who has even had the masters abroad, someone who had a PhD abroad, the fact that he has been appointed CS doesn't mean that he can suspend his private life because these people, even when they are holiday or they are in leave, they do take their families abroad. So you should distinct public life and private life. And also, we have to acknowledge that she's out under maternity leave, not that because she's also she can be given maternity leave. At the same time, the governor also wanted the newborns to be American citizen by birth.
Okay, this is what Gibson Connor is telling us. Because in some places things have changed after leaving a union, yet you don't get automatic citizenship. They start by documenting the parent first. So that is what our good friend Gibson Connor is saying. Thank you so much, Biguda. There's let me see. What did it? Okay, citizenship through birth. Okay, all right. So, Miguda, before we go into the main discussion of today, and we're going to look at because, like yesterday, the president, when he invited our brothers, the Muslim community, for iftar in State House during his speech giving, he referred CS Muturi as incompetent, and this was regarding to an issue that was raised by our brothers about. I will take it and tell you, yeah, and they referred him as incompetent. Then less than 24 hours, he was shown the door. And that is something that we are going to discuss. And we are looking at also the reassignment of Duale with Deborah. Now, Duale is going to health and Deborah is going to environment. So those are, and if you look at the history, I think this is the first time that the four times that the president is doing such changes in his cabinet. And what is happening? We are talking of incompetent, and he was talking about incompetency. And we are looking at, especially like Duale. Now, this is the third ministerial post that is getting within a period of less than 6 months.
Before I delve into the question you're asking, I like to qualify what James Conner stated on the comment.
Yeah.
The first comment by James Conner. I agree with James Conner in total because he has brought a very good point. I understand what James Conner was saying because I believe in progressive and adaptability, and it's never static. The law is never static. It must progress and it must also connect and be adaptable with the current generation and the changes. And that is what we have been saying. And that's what we have been saying, that whenever you want to make decisions like Mr. President, it must reflect the social values and also morals. At the same time, it also must reflect the legitimacy of the people. There, I agree with the James Conner I agree with him 100% that it is true. The issue of progressive adaptability, it's never static. We talk about the issue of incompetency, and Mr. President yesterday during when he hosted the Muslim brothers, he talks about that he had an incompetent AG, and the AG is simply justifying that the reason why he dismissed AG or the reason why he removed AG or dissolved the cabinet was because of incompetency. He's justifying that there was incompetency into the cabinet. That is the reason why he decided in his own wisdom or lack of the same that he must dissolve and dismiss the entire cabinet. The reason why he's justifying that fact is now wanting to tell the public that whoever is outside the government, the issue of the IG, those who are incompetent, in his view, that anybody who disagrees with him or anybody who does not align with his decision as the boss, you are shown the door. Once you have been shown the door, you'll be told incompetent. So if you are not yes sir person, if you can't be yes sir person, you are incompetent. Competency, according to him, is based on those yes sir people as the competent people. But anybody who's having a divergent opinion is incompetent. I want to disagree with him because if it's a matter of incompetence, it means that he's the father of incompetence because he's the one who appointed those people. It means now the appointment of Mr. President is incompetence appointment. That is an appointment. If he can execute incompetent appointment and justifying that indeed those people were incompetent, it means that from the word go, he is the one who initiated those incompetency to the Kenyan people. That's why it's just a blame game. Whereby if you agree with me, you are competent. If you disagree with me, you are incompetent, justifying incompetency. That is what he was doing, in my view. And the issue of now, look at what you have said that Duale was from defense. Then Duale from defense went to environment. From environment went to health within a span of 2 years. So the question is, what are the reforms Duale has brought into the defense? What are the reforms Duale has brought into the environment? And what are the reforms Duale is going to bring into the health? One person, three different ministries within a span of 2 years. It means even if Duale has some mistakes in the defense, is running away from being accountable. Is running away from being accountable whatever he did while he was the CS for defense. Now he shifted to environment. If anything happened in the environment, he's also running away from being accountable. Now he's in the health sector. And we don't know if they had their time even for the next 5 years, he will be in the 5 dockets. It means that anytime we want to hold the CS into accountable, we cannot get him because he has run away to like 3 different ministry. That is so. If that is a competence, if one person cannot stay long in defense or environment or health, it means even Duale is incompetent. If the Duale is, why is it keeping Duale? It means Duale is a yes sir. Anybody is a yes sir is being kept and is being viewed as competent, but anybody who is having a divergent opinion is incompetent.
Okay, talking about that, and we want to look at where the rain started beating President and Justin Muturi, and which has led to him being sacked. Remember, immediately after the Gen Z protest, there was dismissal of members of the cabinet, and Justin Muturi was one of those who were dismissed. Then he was reassigned at the Ministry of Public Service. Then after that, Muturi had an issue when his son was abducted, and Muturi raised a complaint. And he narrated on how he went and talked to the president, and he had the president calling the NIS boss about his son. And from there, he put a protest, or he's been protesting that he's not going to attend the cabinet meetings until the answers of abduction being part of the discussion. And this is what has led to where he is right now. And this is coming at a time when the president is preparing to go and tour, project tour in Mount Kenya. Yeah. So does it mean that when you have a dissenting opinion that do not agree with the president, that is how it works? Or Justin Muturi also knew that the president was appointing authority, then you are working against his will, and he was playing politics with it?
When the entire cabinet was dismissed, everybody was dismissed, including the AG, because AG also formed part of the cabinet. But we saw some faces make comeback, like Duale make a comeback, Kindiki make a comeback, also AG make a comeback. When they make a comeback, AG was reassigned into CS docket. Now he was removed from the AG to CS docket. It was more of a promotion. Even if you look at the docket where he was reassigned compared to the AG, it was like he was promoted. And if that is being incompetent, he could have not make a comeback, number one. If that is being incompetent, he could have not been promoted. When the CS raised the issue of abduction, he was a victim. And remember, the son was abducted and we saw the CCTV footage that the son was abducted. So when he raised issues about the abduction, and the abduction was popular in the country, people were against abduction, he was like exposing the abductors. And when he was exposing the abductors, it was even very clear that he met the president one-on-one, and they have a conversation. and he understand whatever was happening, and he was exposing actually the needs as the people who are having the command center
Yep.
to direct abduction of the citizens of Kenya. At the same time, there are two things that might have happened, whatever from the reassignation, abduction, exposing the government. Two things I want to take note because even though he did those things which are good for the public, but
Yep.
as Mr. President, being the head of state and the chair to the cabinet, there is collective responsibility
Yep.
that no member of cabinet is permitted to speak anything that has been discussed in the cabinet outside cabinet. You wait for instruction from the president. In my view, Mr. President has seen that he has committed this offense of
Yep.
collective responsibility. Number two, he has also there is oath of secrecy that if you serve, I like this guy called, not that I like his politics, but I like the way he conducted himself when he was the CS, Eugene Wamalwa.
Yes.
Eugene Wamalwa has never exposed anything that happened during his tenure. So he believed in the oath of secrecy and also believed in the collective responsibility as the CS. And now the issue of removing CS Muturi, Mr. President want to make it clear that you are either pro the government or anti-government. If you are anti-government and you
Yeah.
have any dissent opinion, you can do it outside government. You cannot sabotage within. You rather
Yeah.
sabotage outside. We can't keep you in and you have a dissenting opinion and you are anti-us. If you are not for us, you are against us, you can't have anything within the government. At the same time,
Mhm.
you want to tell the central people that the yes people, the yes sir people
Mhm.
who are with him, the likes of Ishongwa, Kindiki, the yes sir people. So going to the Mount Kenya next month, you want to move to the region with the yes sir people and you want to distinct the anti-government versus pro-government. And they want to make it very clear to the region that we, as the government of the country,
Okay.
these are the leaders from Mount Kenya region who are working with the government, who are the yes sir people, who are
Yeah.
pro-government. But anybody who is not with in this entourage, he or she is either anti-government or he or she is either have a dissenting opinion, and therefore you want to make it clear the opposition and the government within the Mount Kenya region.
Yeah. Okay, now talking about that, and there's also a case file. These are during the time of Muturi tenure as a AG. This is from the Standard newspaper. Former AG Justin Muturi defended government. These are out of 1,503. No, out of 1,588 cases filed against government, which saved the government 17 billion on state scorecard. Yeah, Muturi, his time as a AG, won 1,503. So which means he only lost 85 cases, but the cases that were filed during his tenure as a AG was 1,588. Can this one also show incompetent in your case, because they have saved the government like 17 billion? That is the state scorecard shows that.
The issue of incompetence and competency is a matter of subjective. But what I want to base my submission is the issue I've talked about cases. Maybe lost 85 cases and out of 1588. 1588 means like maybe 1500 were won.
Yep.
But they are forgetting, other than being counsel advisor to the government,
Yep.
because he's the official advisor to the government, official counsel advisor to the government, the AG. Other than advising the government, there's also a certain role of the Attorney General. He or she represents the public interest. Whenever there's any case that has touched the interest of the public, the AG can come in, either as an amicus curiae, as a
Yeah.
counsel, to defend specifically the public interest. Whenever there's any interest that touches the public, it must come. In my view, if
Yeah.
these cases which were lost,
Mhm.
they had nothing to do with public interest, I don't care.
Mhm.
And if these cases, which are one, have something to public interest, then I care.
Yeah.
Because me, as for me, I'm a member of the public. I'm not a member, I'm not an official public officer. I don't care how they are doing their cases, but whenever the case that was before the court, which deals with the issue of the public interest, which
Yeah.
were won with the AG, therefore I support. But also, we have to check that you can't win all cases. No
Yeah.
one has ever won all cases in court. No lawyer has ever won all cases. Sometimes you can lose cases, sometimes you can win cases. It depends on how the determination or the ruling can be made by the judge who was presiding. Therefore, winning a case or losing a case is not a blame to the counsel always. You
Okay.
don't need to blame a counsel. It's like you are a patient, you have
Mhm.
gone to a doctor when you are sick. There is high probability that you can come out when you are healed, or you can come out. Sometimes you can end up dying. Some people
Yeah.
are being in the ICU or in the ward. So if someone has lost his life, do you blame the doctor that there was no proper discharge to the patient? No, you don't blame the doctor.
But but
That
but
is what is happening. Like,
but there are some cases whereby people have lost their life. If you're giving that analogy, where people have lost their life due to negligence of the practitioners or the health providers.
it is true. It is true. I agree with you, and I understand the issue of negligence, because when you talk, the only problem now we are saying,
Yeah.
there's a distinct. That was just a narrow example, but if you go to deep the way you are going to deep, it
Yeah.
means that a doctor,
Yeah.
once a patient has lost his life or her life, therefore you are going to bury the patient.
Yeah.
You can now you bury the problem, but
Mhm.
as an advocate,
Yeah.
if these cases were lost, we can go back and look at the precedents, and we can discuss them, that were they lost on a fair ground or were
Yes.
they lost on a fair ground. That one is our lawyers can have to recheck. Unlike the doctors, they just bury the patient without knowing whether there was the case of negligence, and until now you process other legal avenues. That's why I was bringing the issue of a doctor and a patient.
Okay.
But
Thank you
what
so
is
much.
important here is that
Mhm.
if these cases were one which were on the public interest,
Yeah.
I don't see incompetency.
All right. So this is what President said yesterday on the when the iftar. We invited the Muslim, our Muslim brother at State House for iftar. On WAGF, I agree with you. It has taken too long. There is no reason for the delay, and I had a problem with the AG who was there. He was fairly incompetent, but now I have a very competent lady, and I can assure you the issues of WQF will be sorted out. That is one. That is, I quote Mr. President. And now what happened is that I think the Justin responded through tweet. He said that under the WATF Act of 2022, there is no provision for a Muslim endowment fund. It must be understood that WAGF is a religious, charitable, or benevolent endowment by persons who processes Muslim faith, is managed by WAGF Commission. That is what now Justin Muturi responded to Mr. President. I quote. Now, where do we now see who is telling the truth?
That is self-explanatory,
Yeah.
and the AG is speaking the truth.
Yeah.
Mr. Ruto
Uh-huh.
is now trying to bring the issue of, he want to put the blame of the commission,
Mm.
the WAQF commission, to the
Yeah.
AG. And I told you that the people forget that other than legal advisor to the government,
Mhm.
it represents the issue of public interest. And in our constitution,
Yeah.
it's very clear that there shall be no state religion.
Mhm.
If there is no state religion,
Mhm.
and AG is acting in the capacity of a state,
Yeah.
is the state council. So if there is no state religion, how do you want a state council to execute a WAQF commission which is going to benefit the Muslim? We are going to say that, does it mean that right nowadays the state council can execute that for the Muslim community is like discriminatory, and it is inconsistent with the there shall be no state religion. It is not consistent with our provisions. That's why I'll just go back to the Act of 2022. Look at that Act of Parliament of 2022, which endowed funds that these are religiously charitable. Let us use the Act, not the Constitution, because Mr. President, it's like you want to put blame to the State Council that it was its duty to act to ensure that there was endowment fund to the religious charitable. But it's very clear, if you read at the Act, how I wish you could have checked the Act of 2022, that it is under WAQF, is under the commission, is under the commission of WAQF. It's not under state. That's the distinction that we have to distinct as the people.
So now when you look at the event, and this event, right now we know our brothers are in the holy month of Ramadan, and you've invited them for iftar, and now you are bringing in politics part of it, and in a way, first of all, I would look at it like to make them believe that this is the person that has been holding that, that the main reason why that one has never been actualized is because of him. How does it put him against our Muslim brothers? If you're looking at it critically, because if you say that this guy was unfairly incompetent, that is the reason why it's not actualized during his tenure.
I'll give it an political angle.
Yeah.
Because it's more of, to me, it is more of a lie because of the event. And you understand, right now they are in fasting period, and they believe that anything can happen if you fast and pray to God. Of course, great things happen when we fast and pray. That is true. If you go and appeal to the believers that this WAQF, who has been delaying it, was the State Council. I just refer you to that. It's justifying the incompetency of JB yesterday, but today he has fired JB. So he wanted to appeal that even though tomorrow I'm going to fire JB, but he was incompetent. But remember, right now he's being fired as a CS. He's not being fired as the AG. If that could be the case, we could have sorted it at that time before he was brought into the ministerial at the CS.
Yeah.
He's just trying to play politics in the midst of the believers, and the believers might believe him because right now they can say maybe the president cannot lie because we are in the holy month. People don't lie in holy month. But as a politician, that is where their problem. They lie every day. They don't care which month is holy or not holy. I still believe that it was just a strategic utterance to ensure that it justified that even today we have sent you home, but you are incompetent to announce that our Muslim brothers were unable to be endowed with funds that are religious charitable. And JB has responded perfectly.
Yeah. Okay. Now, when you look at the history of the president, ever since he came into his administration, especially when he disagreed with the Rigathi Gachagua, Wamunyoro, His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua, the word incompetent was used. He used it like he was not incompetent. Like everybody that he has disagreed with, or everybody that has like dissenting opinion with what he's doing or with this opinion, every time they close the ranks or they lose the ranks, one of the words that you usually use is usually incompetent. And if you go back in the history, remember there was a time we were discussing about Justin Muturi saying that the president is somebody who is not advised, So there's this belief that he's the sole decision maker, and he usually make unilateral decision without listening to his advisors, and the word incompetence. How can you weigh the two?
I just have to agree. I just have to disagree with Mr. President, because
when you say that Rigiji was incompetent or the CS was incompetent, to some extent, I can agree with him, but I have to disagree with him largely because he had an opportunity by that time to nominate Professor Kindiki.
Yeah.
But he nominated Rigiji over Kindiki. Why? So after making mistake, you are coming to the public. So I just see it as a same script. Whenever you are dissenting to his opinion, or whenever you are never a yes person, you are incompetent. Because each and every person who has been chased out of the government, all of them has been tagged as incompetence. That's the same script. But it means that even right now, we still have some incompetent people. If you can see, maybe tomorrow you will chase the experts, you will say that the experts were incompetent. So it's just a script being, or a narrative being driven by head of state. Whenever you are not in agreement with him, you are incompetent. But when you agree with him, you are competent and the best person Kenyans have ever had.
Okay, thank you so much. And now let's come to discuss about the issues, talking about of economic crisis that we have right now and service delivery. When you see this reassignment, especially for Deborah, you see the one for Duale and even bringing in Ruku, do you think is going to change anything, or is it going to bring some changes to Kenyans that we people will have effect of? Because we've seen he did it with the experts, nothing really came on board. Kenya did not fail it. He brought in again the second batch, that was the batch of Kabogo. Then there was this reassignment that took place in PSS, and now we have right now, including the wife of the widow for Kiptum, has been appointed as PS for nominated for PS for gender and culture. Do you see it's answering the crisis that people are complaining about, or it's just like a political show? Nick, you can come to the YouTube. There's a link over there, Mr. Nick Mzalendo.
What I want to say is that we are moving round like a clock, but we are not making any progress as a country because we had issue with the economic and the service delivered to the people. But the moment you keep on reshuffling, you keep on dissolving, dismissing, you keep on restructuring your government. For now, we are, I think, 2 years, some months down the line since we get into this government. It means now, at what time are you going to ensure service delivery to the people? At what time are you going to ensure that you execute on the reforms that people have laid before the ministry? These are just delayance tactics, and the government is not stable, even though we see the experts stabilize it. They stabilize it politically by cooling down the political temperature or the pressing resistance from the Gen Z and other people. But economically, it is not stable. Though people will give you examples like electricity, unga, mafuta. But that is not all in economic. Economic is large. And also bring the issues of PS. I think by reshuffling, bringing new people, sending people away, that is not how we are going to deliver services to the people. It's just a delaying tactics for us to go for another election in 2027.
So if you look even Ruku, and one Dem 99 say that Ruku is a puppet. If you look at Ruku has been one of those members of parliament who have been supporting president policies. And when you have a chance, you've had a chance to look or watch some of his interview on the major networks, see on how he usually defends the government. And now the question is, does it mean that in the entire area where even Justin Muturi was coming from, if you were to reward them, because that was their ministerial post, if you were to reward them, was it a must that you have to go to the member of parliament? Does it mean that there are no any other professional around that area where can replace Justin Muturi?
The issue of bringing Ruku is like, to me, what we say that, no, so people will still oppose you. We say that there are Kenyans who can do those works. Doesn't mean that if you are an MP, that's when you can be a CS.
Yeah.
People can even be CS without being MPs, but people will dismiss you. The reason I'm concentrating on the parliament now, the National Assembly. If people are being taken from National Assembly and we don't have a constituted IEBC, it means now there are Kenyans who have been denied the right to representations.
Yeah.
There are Kenyans who have been denied the right to NGCDF. There are Kenyans who have been denied the right to actively engage into governance because the people have right lawfully. The law gave you an opportunity to be represented.
Yeah.
These are things we have lawfully, but now they're delaying our time. Like the people of Ugonja, since Opio and I went to be the expert, they have been there to be represented in parliament. And also some political parties are lawfully allowed to bring some of their members as nominated into the assembly. When Badi went to be expert, ODM are being denied that right to have a representation as nominated in parliament. And also now from the time we constitute our IBC, we establish or we publish all those constituencies, we do mapping, we begin campaigns, time. The time which was given Kiaru, Lomeka, and the time which was given Embakasi East Lomeka is different with the time a Lomeka from Ugunja or a Lomeka from Bere North will carry out his role to the people. It means we are wasting people's time, and we are wasting people's time. And these are lawful things that should happen to the citizen. That's why I have a divergent opinion. I believe that each and every person can work in the country. When you are doing your appointments or nominations, try to reconsider that the other people, we don't need to have similar face who are there during Kanu regime and even there. That is what we are against. There are many people who can do those jobs.
Yeah, and thank you so much for that. I see Makobura also has joined us. Makobura, we will engage you on the issue that we are having today. And you've talked about parliament. Do you think this is another tactical way in which to make parliament, especially the legislative wing of government, very weak? Because remember, we know very well that right now the IEBC, is not functioning. We know there is interviews that are going on. Remember, when the interview has taken place, they'll be sworn in, then this constituency will be declared vacant, then there will be that campaign and all that. And during these processes, remember, there will be policies or there will be legislation that is going on, and the numbers will play a major role, So does it mean that this is also another way of making the parliament very weak in terms of when it comes to voting of the bills?
I can just say the parliament was made weak sometimes back. It was captured, the members were compromised, and currently they're just continuing to ensure that they are dealing with parliament, to ensure that it is no longer doing its role of checks to the executive. That's what they are doing, because first they ensure that there is that unity between minority and majority in parliament. The majority and minority are united, and the majority are still having those slots for the minority, and the majority are having slots for the minority, and you can find some minorities in the budget and appropriation committee, which is reserved for the majority, and you can find the minority there. It means now the majority and minority party have come together. That one, you have already, you ensure that you have captured parliament. Then you are going furthermore to poach members of parliament to the executive. in a moment where we don't have IBC to go back and do by-elections. Therefore, we cannot do special elections into those constituencies right now. It means now the numbers have been reduced and the majority and minority are also together. So even if you try to bring any motion, it is very easy for the government proposal bill to sail through without major opposition. That is true. I can just say that what I can do is that they are continuing to ensure that they weaken parliament further so that it remains a one-man show whereby it's only executive.
Thank you very much, Mr. Miguda, for your opinion. And I'm joined. Makobura, how are you doing, sir?
Good evening. I'm doing good. I thank God. I hope you're also doing good.
Yes, we are managing and we are having a conversation, especially concerning the Justin Muturi. Remember that Justin Muturi, until his dismissal, he was the CS for public, is it public service? And they've for quite some time, they've had disagreement with the president based on what he has been advocating for about the abduction, and he has always come out very vocal. But yesterday, President said that he was fairly incompetent, and today, less than 24 hours, he was shown the door. What is your take on everything that has happened within a period of 24 hours?
Okay, thank you. I don't know whether my internet is stable or not.
Okay, just try. We'll let you know if there's a problem. Do you have a problem with your internet? Okay, you can fix it and maybe come back.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Yes. So on the issue of JB Muturi, I think it was something that he was expecting, because for the first time he has been having a problem with this government and especially the president, and also decisions that this government has made. And he has questioned, he has even called for pressure, and all the demands, so all those things that he had requested were not really done. He was questioning, one, the issue of abduction.
Okay, Makobura, I think there's a problem with your net.
Yeah, I think I've sorted it.
All right.
I'm just hearing an echo, but I think it's somehow sorted. Yeah, I'm saying that the former...
Fix your echo, then come. I think there's a problem with the Makobura's echo. Makobura, would you mind fixing your echo? Okay, thank you so much. Makobura is still working on his audio system, and we can continue with what this is what one Dem 99 saying, all cabinet members are billionaire, yet no healthcare and no education is coming to them. That is what is there. Then we need to change the Kenyan look by getting rid of the recycled politician and bring in new metropolitan cosmopolitans who are ready to work for all. And how are we going to do that? This one, Gibson, that also depends with the Kenyan people. That also depends with the Kenyan people. It's not all about, it's need a collective responsibility, and Kenyan people come together with a common goal, then this one will come. But if we are still in the society whereby people are divided and people are looking at their king kingmakers and the region leadership, sometimes it might not be actualized. Makobura, you said?
Yes.
Yeah.
So according to the comments of the president, when he mentioned or he said that the former IG was incompetent, I don't think that is his true stand. I think he just came up with that thinking or that narrative after they fell out.
Yeah.
And when he realized that JB Muturi is having a different stand when it comes to governance. And we saw him coming out to criticize, and he also gave ultimatum to the government and even to the cabinet that if the issues that he had raised were not sorted, then he'll not he'll not attend any cabinet meeting. So of course, if you remember what the president said the other day, it was just a confirmation, which I'm quite sure if JB Muturi got to listen to that, then he knew something was coming. It is the first time that we saw the president, speaking about that. He has always been quiet on the same issue.
Yeah.
What I can say is that the issue of incompetency, starting from the president to almost all those people in that cabinet, more of them are, I would say, are incompetent.
Yeah.
So I don't think it is right for him to come out and criticize a cabinet secretary that he himself appointed. This is someone who has occupied the position of a speaker for 2 terms, and he was the deputy president. And out of the service that he did while he was serving as the speaker, he decided to give him the opportunity to, serve as the IEG. I don't think it was a matter of incompetence, because if you can remember, the IG at some point came out while he was still serving as the IG. He came out and said that he has a role of advising the president, but then the person who is advised has the, right to either put in practice the advice that he has given or not. But from what we learned the other time, the president was not, putting in practice all those advices that the IG would give. And again, if you remember, the Gen Zs came out and there was that demonstration. And then we saw him sacking all the cabinet secretary. According to him, the statement he gave, they were fairly incompetent. And so the question we should ask is, if he knew he was incompetent and he fired him, what was then the reason of bringing him back as a cabinet secretary? I think he would have stood with this first stand, because he said they were incompetent, but then the fairly incompetent leaders were brought back.
Yeah.
I think what the president needs, or from what personally I've learned from him, the president.
Okay, let me see. There's a problem with the Makobura device when it comes. I think Makobura has a problem with his net. Okay, he's going to fix it. Miguda, thank you so much. I hope you are still holding on there. To my question to you, because the president, I asked you this before, and now I want to know your perspective, because even the appointment of Ruku, the member of parliament, Ruku, who has been appointed, if you look at that county, that's where one of the young guy was abducted. And this is what Muturi stood for. And he did not speak about those abductions. What now give him the confidence now that the president has appointed him, he's going to deliver more than Muturi? Okay, Miguda too is okay, there must be a problem. So that is something that we are discussing. We're just looking at the incompetency and the appointment that the president and the deployment that the president has done. Now, let's come to Deborah. Deborah was just appointed the other day. After her appointment, she has not even taken 3 months, not even 2 months, ever since she was appointed to become the health. And remember, she is somebody who is the health practitioner. She's a health practitioner, somebody who understands issues to do with health. And now there's that deployment, and we are bringing in Duale. What do we expect from Duale? Does it mean that Deborah was not understanding the SHA, how SHA should work, or what is happening. Yeah, and we've seen Duale in his dockets, especially when he was the the the, the CS for defense. And the other day he had an interview on. You heard how he talked, and tell me, from the look of things, when you look at them, are you seeing any changes that are going to come soon? Are you seeing any changes within this short period of time? Because the broad-based government was brought in, the experts, that what we are told that the experts were brought in, and we did not see so much. Yeah. Now we are seeing again new faces coming into the government. Is it the people, the manpower that is there that are not understanding all the system? Because if the human resource are not doing a good job, then I don't think that they could have been recycled and given an opportunity again to work. We could have looked for other people or other professionals to be part of the appointment, so that new fresh blood should be brought in. But like this, the same people just being recycled, deployed in other areas. Makobura.
Okay, yes. I was just giving my opinion on the comments of the president when he mentioned or called JB Muturi as incompetent leader. I don't think that is true, because if it were true, then he would not have given him an opportunity to serve again. I think the problem that was there is because the cabinet, JB Muturi had a stand,
Yeah.
and that, of course, made the president to not feel comfortable having him around.
Yeah.
And that led to his dismissal. But the issue of incompetency, it is something that we've seen not just uh, from a specific leader, but almost all of them are incompetent, and it is not right. It is just a similar way. If you remember the impeachment of the former deputy president, the accusations, issues to do with tribe, these are things that are there within the political class and also these political leaders. So it was unfair for
Yeah.
the political class and also the members of parliament to impeach the deputy president based on, issues to do with tribal stands, because that would then put us at a place where it would be difficult for us, to even access and say something about what is happening in this other political field. It is like sinning, and then you call someone a big sinner. So there's nothing. A sin is a sin, of course, and those are part of things that we need to accept if we really want to move forward. And I'm also seeing the issue of I've seen a comment here uh, from some of our viewers. I've never understood one thing: why politics would make a Kenyan to look down upon a fellow Kenyan, and yet they're in the same country, being led by maybe one leader. And if they're going through problems, all of them are also going through those problems. I've never understood why someone would attack, for example, a fellow Kenyan based on, uh, political stance.
Yeah.
And I've also never understood why, if maybe there's a leader who is coming from a specific region or specific tribe, I've never understood why people would believe that if, for example, a leader is coming from the Mount Kenya region, that leader then speaks or holds the mentality of the people of Mount Kenya, or if a leader is coming from the lowland, then he holds, the minds of the people of that region. Those are some of the problems that we are facing as a country, and part of that is really taking us back, because we are suffering. Instead of looking at the problems that we are facing as citizens,
Yeah.
we tend to look at the political leaders or the political kingpins. If for example the political leaders have issues, we tend to look it as a community thing, then this is really not going to help us as a country. And my wish is the people of Kenya from different tribes would wake up and look at each other as Kenyans. We should be united by the problems that we are facing as a people. If the issue of, let's say, if fuel prices are high, it is high in Mount Kenya, in Luoland, in Western, in Northeastern. If bad governance is affecting a region, the country, it is affecting the entire country. Issues of unemployment, it is in the entire 47 counties. So it is so, personally, I do not even have a word to describe people who come with this mentality that we are coming now from this region. Now let us, because that political leader has this specific stand, now we should, that is backwardness. And to me, I will disagree with all those people who have that mentality, because if we continue that mentality, the people of Kenya, especially the youths, who are going to find it hard to, find a space to just give our opinions, and also to move and to do our things easily in the Republic of Kenya.
Okay, thank you. There's something that I usually I just wanted to share. Today I was having a conversation this morning before we came on air. I was having a conversation with one of the Nigerian friend, and he was one guy who was telling me how he admires the Kenyan politics, and he mentioned to me one of the songs by Eric Wainaina, and he said that song is he loves the song, and I went through the because like it's a song that I usually listen to, and when you listen to that, one of the lines of Eric Wainaina, he says that umoja ni fahari yetu, undugu ndio nguvu yetu, chuki na ukabila hatutaki hata kamwe, lazima tuungane tujenge nchi yetu, pasiwe na hata mmoja anayetutenganisha. Naishi na tumaini, najitolea daima Mkenya, hakika ya bendera na udhabiti wangu. So the part that I took was hakika ya bendera na udhabiti wangu. Now, when you look at hakika, daima mimi Mkenya, daima and hakika ya bendera. So ile inadhibitisha kwamba we ni Mkenya, ni bendera yetu. Na kwa bendera yetu, ukisikiza wimbo wake ama wimbo yake inasema kwamba fahari yetu, umoja ndio fahari yetu, na ndio ndugu. Now, what usually explains that is, look at Kenyans who have done us proud. And I was going through the history of Kenyans, especially those who have gone to the Olympics. Talk of Faith Kipyegon. Immediately she wins those competitions. What's the first thing that she asked for? The flag. And she covers herself in that flag. So if she does that, and everybody who has gone to competition and have won, even the other day when Harambee Stars was playing with Gabon, people were putting on the jerseys of Kenya. And that one ilikuwa inaonyesha kwamba hakika ya bandera ni udhabiti. They were confirming that the flag is the confirmation. But sometimes what we do with those flags, or sometimes when we put on Kenyan jerseys, does not reflect on what Kenya is all about. So it's something that we need to have a conversation over. But that is by the way. And Ayaga, let me see. What Ayaga is saying, the majority of Azimio in parliament is the majority of Azimio in the parliament is by law. It belongs to us. We must be happy having an position back. It's law. We can do nothing about it. But Ayaga, this is going to be negotiated, because if that one could have been the case, they could have taken it already. Soon we will discuss how much money we will bring to this Kenya economy. That is, yes, because I agree with you. Ignorance has got no defense. Education, education,
Yeah, the
education.
question that I would ask,
Yeah,
the question that I would ask a
yeah,
good friend, maybe one Dame 99 and
yeah,
Eric Ayaga,
yeah,
and also my take. If, for example, they are put in one room
yeah.
and I'm seeing how they're arguing and their personal stance.
Yeah.
Suppose they are put in one room or they
Yeah.
find themselves in one room. Sasa what will they do to each other? Ataanza kupiga huyu kwa sababu huyu anatoka huku. Sometimes I sit down and then I ask myself if whether it is. I've always believed that as people grow and
Yeah.
as you interact with people, you get to understand that we are all human beings. People can have different thinking, but it doesn't put us to a point where you start looking at each other and then just, eh, it's really, sometimes I just lack words. If you see gentlemen, having such kind of stance,
Mm.
this is too dangerous for us as a people and also as a country, because if you see people having such kind of stance, then you might not know what is going to happen next. And partly those are the things or stance, political stance, that made us go through what happened in 2007, 2008. This our viewers here, one day, my take, and maybe Eric, these are personal politics. You should never take it personal. Don't look at, just because this person is coming from this side, now you want to address him as, there are
Mm.
people, for example, in Mount Kenya who supports ODM. Some of them were even given position. There are people in Luo Nyanza who supports uh, maybe people from the mountain, and it works, especially when the interests converge. Don't fight for the political leaders to an extent that you tend to lose your emotion fighting for someone who does not even know you. You get to a point where now you start saying that just this because this person is coming from those areas. Exposure should always expand our thinking and also our view of things. That is what I believe.
Okay. Uh, oh, okay, okay. Thank you so much, and thank you so much. And I don't have let me bring in Miguda. How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
You
I'm
just
doing good.
you drop. What is your take today? The Right Honorable Prime Minister was talking, and he said that hey, hajaingia katika serikali. Now, if you listen to what Oburu also was saying, they are kind of like different. They are speaking different things. I mean, they're speaking different issues. Everyone is sending different messaging to the people, whereby we are in the broad-based government and mimi sijaingia katika serikali. What is happening?
What is happening is very funny because he's saying that he has not get into the government, but he's the one calling out the shots. How do you say that he's not in the government? And from the onset, the beneficiaries have been the people from ODM party, his political party. They are very big in this so-called broad-based government. I believe that the ODM party is in government. That one I will say, even if you hate me or don't like me, it is not important. What I know, ODM is in government, and they were in the day broad light at KICC signing an MOU that ODM and UDA are working a structured agreement. So you can't come here and tell us that they are not in government. It's like you want to blind us, and we are not blind. They are working together. Raila is in government with the people. The only thing is that Raila is not a minister in Ruto's government. Raila is not a PS. Raila is not the president. But actually, the party of ODM and UDA are in agreement and they are working together towards 2027. And none other than Oburu Odinga, the youth leader, confirmed right in front of Raila that we are contented in broad-based government. The same were also echoed by Otiende Amolo. When Matakaro was speaking, Matakaro said that we know that we have disagreed politically, but we remain friends. what is this disagreement politically? It is very simple. You don't need rocket science to understand that Raila is in government. That one we are going to say, hata kama natuchukia. Baba serikalini, and we know.
Okay, thank you. And speaking about Martha Karua, there's something that Martha Karua spoke, and she spoke very well. And she said one thing, that if you are going to work with the government, or if you tend to work with the government, do it in a procedural way, so that even the positions that should be held with the minority, should be. Because he spoke about, I was with the Right Honorable Prime Minister, and there are so many criticism and challenges that I faced when I was campaigning over here. But at some point, they allowed us to come and campaign. And now, because of the stand that you've taken, she's okay with it, but do it the way Constitution requires it to be done. Makubura, do you agree with her, or what is your take on that?
I think Martha Karua is right. There's a constitution to be followed, and all the political leaders, including the president, the members of parliament, senators, they all swore before the people, and while carrying, either the Bible or Quran or whichever, and they told the people of Kenya that they will consistently follow what the constitution says. It is right to follow the constitution if everything is done as per what the constitution prescribes, then it is okay. If we get to a point where people start making moves or laws or not following the constitution, then of course you have to come out and question, because a country is in democratic country, there has to be laws, there has to be rules, and they have to be followed. So the comments of Martha Karua is right. If Azimio is getting back maybe the majority, then let it be done in a constitutional way. Let it not just be done hello or in a way that is not respecting the constitution of the Republic of Kenya. So even the appointments or everything, they should follow the law, because the people of Kenya fought for this constitution. Blood was shed, and the people also gave their views. So now they wanted a government to rule. So it is right to always use the constitution as reference, because that is what has set the parameters of what should be done and what should not be done.
Okay, thank you so much. Miguda, when you look at the Constitution, and especially when we are looking at the pre-pact, especially when it comes to our parties, because the law allows us, you can have a pre-pact and a post-pact. And this is a situation whereby the Orange Democratic Movement and the UDA are working without a formal framework, especially when it comes to adhering to the Constitution. And they are the same people who are saying that we should follow the rule of law, we should be a law-abiding citizen, yet themselves, they are not respecting those rules and regulations and the law itself that are put in place to guide such like moments,
When during the MOU at the KICC, we supported it. Actually, we said that it is within the law, it is lawful, it is legal, it's valid, that they can have a pre-pact with the UDA and ODM. That is valid. We are not in dispute.
Yeah.
We said that it is within it is legal, even though we question its legitimacy, that it does not reflect the social and values of the people, or it does not reflect the popular will of the people, because the people prefer that the opposition should have remained into the minority, should have remained to minority. But now it has happened, and the court also declared that ODM is the majority. And if the court has declared that ODM is the majority, and we should also act lawfully as a country, there should be no violation of any law, because we believe that we are fighting under the rule of law. So when it was declared that the ODM is the majority, and the majority side has already surrendered the Budget and Appropriation Committee chair to ODM, they should go on and surrender the majority leader to ODM. They also go ahead and surrender the finance chair to ODM. The same way ODM also should surrender the minority leader, the public account committee. They should surrender all those minority slots to the minority because they have been declared as the majority and they're claiming their slots in the National Assembly. So the same way they're claiming their slot in the National Assembly, they should also give space to the minority party to also occupy their slots. That's where we have to agree. People want you can't be minority and majority at the same time. That one cannot happen. That's what Martha Karua was trying to tell Riley, that we have disagreed politically, but when it comes to the issues of execution into the National Assembly Executive, kindly do it procedurally in accordance with the provision of the law, because it's very clear that you can't be minority and majority at the same time. There you are bringing confusions. Is what people call is like a mongrel. What is now the essence of having a National Assembly, and what the essence of having that provision that there should be minority and majority. That's where I differ with them. That if you have declared that, and that's why we are saying these guys are in government, even they don't want to talk about it, because you can't take slots in the majority side, then you are claiming to the people that no, serikalini atituko opposition. You know, you can't be in opposition and the minority at the same time. You must choose one. Either you are in minority or majority. You can't occupy those roles. That's why we are still having this even fictions outside. There's some people who have said that if you have joined, and as we supported it, I remember, bro, we said that there's nothing wrong. Let Raila go and support Ruto. That is his political right. Like any other person, he has any right to support whoever he wants to support and work with whoever he wants to work. There's no problem. Let him go and do his business. But he also should respect the minority slot and allow his lieutenants to cease being the leaders into the minority slot. Therefore, we can have the minority to take over. Those are the things you want to agree as a country. We are not interested in what's happening at the UDA and ODM pact. No, we just want it to be done procedurally in accordance with the provisions of the law.
Okay. Makobura, what is your take about this? Because this one seems to be like a power struggle, or not, even not a power struggle, but a situation whereby the Kenyans themselves are not given their due respect, you know, of what they deserve as Kenyans, because the constitution allows that based on even like the committees that Migoda has mentioned. That's how in a democracy or in a democratic world, when you go into agreement, which nobody is complaining about, and this happens, it's something that is happening in the political field. But you also, as you go into those agreements, you can also show us the direction by living which is not belong to you, how the law prescribe it. And now we are not seeing this one happening.
Remember I said that there's a constitution in the Republic of Kenya and it has to be followed. I agree with the comments of Migoda. It is right. And also what Honorable Martha Karua was talking about. If ODM is joining the government, of which they have a pact, they've got a deal. According to what we know, Wiper Party is not part of that. DAP is not part of that. Martha Karua's party is not part of, this collaboration with the government. And the question that would then come is, who then is left in the opposition? If ODM has crossed, we can say that Wiper has been left in opposition. We can say DAP. We can say the party of Martha Karua. And
Makobura, can you excuse me a little bit? Yeah, just excuse me a little bit. Gentlemen and my fellow people of Kenya, there is something that is happening here that let's because sometimes I do tend to ignore some of the things, but at the end of the day, please leave what belongs to politicians. I think like where we've reached here, we've built a family, and how can we go so low like this in a situation whereby like we insult one another. I think we should bring in new changes. How can we? What is the best way that we can discuss to see that our country grows? Yeah, how can we do it? I have both of you are my friends. You are all my friends, and how can we go solo? And if even you listen to what I read about the Eric Wainaina song, umoja ndio fahari yetu. That umoja. And it's not all about politics. When you look at the history of the politicians, you know, they've never I've never been convinced about any politician in this country who has delivered Kenyans. Yeah. So I think we should take a good step at the citizenry step. That how can we change this country? How can we have a very good conversation that will change my life, change your life, and change the life of generation that is coming. You know, kwa Kiswahili huwa kila mara nasema kwamba tukue na mapinduzi ya akili. Tusipokuwa na mapinduzi ya akili, kwa sababu mimi naamini hakuna nchi na watu wake ambao washapata nchi nzuri kama ukabila inatawala. Ukiangalia ndani kabisa, ama ukiangalia kwa upana sana, ama viongozi ambao unawaona au ni marafiki, kuna siku wao viongozi wamekuja wakapigana, wanaweza kuwa wanasemana hao mambo mabaya, lakini kesho yake unapata wako kwa meza moja wanafanya biashara. Lakini wewe mwananchi wa kawaida utakuwa tu papo hapo. Na ndio maana inafaa tukuwe na mazungumzo ambayo iko na maana. Tusiweke hisia katika mazungumzo yetu. Tusiigize siasa ama tusiigize maneno ambayo tunasema. Tusiwe tu tunakaa katika mtandao ya kijamii tunakuwa na mazungumzo alafu baadaye hakuna mabadiliko ambayo inatokana na mazungumzo yetu. Hiyo inamaanisha sisi wenyewe si watu ambao wanapenda nchi yao. Mimi sioni nia ama haja ya kutukana mtu ambaye ni rafiki yangu ama kutukana mtu ambaye ni mtu ambaye mimi nataka uende usome kitabu ambayo iliandikwa na Wangare Maathai. Alikuwa anazungumzia like subnations. If you get a time, or just listen to those interviews by Wangare Maathai, you know, that they are very deep conversations. And it requires you to understand what she was saying. You know, hata ukikaa chini ukasikiza vitu ambazo Mwalimu Julius Kambarage Nyerere alikuwa anasema, ni vitu ambazo bado zina manufaa mpaka kwa nchi ya leo tuko nayo. Angalia watu ambao walipigania nchi za Afrika wa kwanza, nia na madhumuni ambao walikuwa nao kukomboa nchi ya Afrika ilipotezwa na wanasiasa ambao walikuja nyuma yao. Lakini sisi kama watu ambao tumepata bahati kupata masomo, tumepata bahati kulingana nao, na bado tunaona kama mafikira zao bado sisi bado hatuoni nia, itakuwa ni vigumu sana. Tusi kwa sababu ya ukabila, labda kwa sababu mtu alifanya hiki, haistahili hata kimoja. Kwa sababu baadaye mimi nakuambia, ukiangalia maisha yetu, kwa wale watu ambao walilelewa katika maisha ya uchochole kama hawa wanasiasa wako tu, tulipigania maisha yetu. mpaka saa hizi bado tunang'ang'ana hiyo maisha. Hiyo maisha bado ipo, tunapigania. Ndio maana saa zingine unapata tumechukua fursa ili tukuje hapa ili tuzungumze kama watu ambao walikuwa katika mazingira moja tukipigania maisha. Unapata wengi wetu ambao labda wamepata bahati kwenda nchi za nje. Nakwambia si rahisi kwa hizo nchi za nje bana. Saa zingine unatamani kurudi nyumbani. Kuna watu ambao wanafanya kazi zaidi ya 3 mfululizo, in hali tu familia yake ikuwe na maisha bora. Na hata kama unafanya kazi hizo 3 unapata hizo pesa, lakini kama una serikali ambayo iko na mkakati mzuri, hiyo pesa yako haitakuwa na faida hata kidogo kwa familia yako. Mimi nawasihi tena nawaomba, hii serikali ambayo unapigania, saa zingine unapata mpaka unakosesha heshima kwa kijana ambaye ni rika yako, kwa sababu tu ya mtu tu ambaye ako huko, na mtu ambaye utajiri wake anapata tu kwa hizo. So mimi ningewasihi sana marafiki zangu, dada zangu, mandugu zangu, tukue na mapinduzi kifikra, mapinduzi kwa maneno ambayo tunasema, tutengeneze nchi nzuri ambapo labda wewe hata kama siku moja mjukuu wako atakuja atakuwa naishi kwa nchi nzuri. Tukue na mazungumzo ambayo zina thamani, zina hadhi. Tusikue na mazungumzo zinashusha hadhi ya binadamu. Mimi nawaomba tu, and we really love because you've always supported us here. Let not support go in vain. Let us bring a new change on the kind of conversation that we are having. Let us bring those changes on the conversation that we are having. All my friends here. Yeah. It is, at the end of the day, when the sun sets, how do you go home? As a proud person who thrive on insulting others? That is what makes you happy? Or what makes you happy? So let us build this family. Let us build this family on positive conversation. We never know where this world will place us. We never know where this world will place us. Yeah. And remember, there's a way in which the nature equalizes people. I don't know whether you've always wondered, when you're alive, they call you by your name. When you're dead, they call you the body. The name leaves you. When are we bringing the body? When is the body buried? What happened to the body? So those are some of the questions that you should ask yourself. That you ask yourself when you leave, when that your body is buried down there, what legacy are you leaving behind? Ukipata mtu ambaye anagawa watu katika msingi ya ukabila ama anatetea kabila yake, hata kama kabila yake imefanya vibaya, basi baada ya kutetea kabila yako utaenda kwa nyumba yenu, pia utakuwa na hiyo utengamano kwamba utatafuta ndugu yake ambaye unampenda, unasema mimi sipendi ndugu yangu kwa sababu ya hichi. Mtu ambaye ako na nia kama hiyo ni mtu ambaye hiyo ndio maisha yake. Maisha yake ni kutenga watu ama kutenga jamii. Hata kwa jamii yako watu wanakuzungumzia kwa sababu kama uko na uwezo wa kufanya hivyo kwa nchi. Yeah. Tukue na mazungumzo ambayo ina hadhi. Tukue na mazungumzo ambayo inaheshimu nchi. Tukue na mazungumzo ambayo hata wewe mwenyewe inakupatia heshima yako. Hakuna haja kutukanana, hakuna haja kutoonyesha heshima kwa mtu. Kuna venye unaweza tafutiana kifikra na mawazo kwa njia ambayo iko na heshima na hadhi, lakini isifike hapo. Unajua, labda nyinyi bado hamjapata, kuna mandugu zetu ambao walipitia haya maneno tu, post-election violence. And I always remember very well, I saw the picture of the Right Honorable Prime Minister and President William Ruto going to a morgue whereby all these guys were put together in a container at the morgue, put together. And they were good friends and they want everything good for the country. But up to date, some of those people are still asking for justice. But what about them? They sat down on the table, they write memorandum of understanding, and the positions were given. Do we still need explanation of that? Yeah. So sometimes I do ignore, yes. But sometimes also I feel that if I comment, you know, but if we can, I think we should raise the bar. We should raise the bar. All of us. We are not pointing a finger at anybody. All of us. Let us make a platform whereby we have a discussion that that builds. Yeah. One day, I told you, sometimes I usually tell you a story. I think I still share with Marco Bura. There was a time, if you're blessed, we went to the embassy. And there was this young guy from, was not from my community. And this guy, he came with less money. And when people were paying for visa. Yeah. And he had less money. But because I had an extra, then I had to give it out. And one thing that he told me, that you can have my phone, so that that is a surety. And I told him one thing: if you know that what I've done for you is worth, then I don't need to hold your phone. Show me how important or how worth I gave you by when you reach home. Then send me the money. Yeah. So because I knew, like right now, where that person is, because they went to look for a job abroad. I know right now, in his history, when he will be writing his history, my name will be mentioned. Even if he doesn't mention me by my name, but he will say there's a guy who facilitated this at the point of need. So I think we are all grown-ups. We are all great people who have come together for a common goal. But let us not spoil what we've built for so long. You know, it is not very easy to build the connection, even in the internet, whereby I can talk to Gypsy Corner, I can talk to One Dem. One Dem we started online long time ago. My Take also, Ayaga, you know, we've built that relationship in the internet. One time we might meet somewhere. Yeah. One time we might meet. But if we meet, then at the expenses of what our politicians, because the stance that our politicians have taken. Yeah. 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 Nakubaliana na wewe, tusitukanane. Hakuna siku yenye labda utapatiwa cheti kwamba wewe ulikuwa mzuri kwa kutukanana ama kutuonyesha watu heshima. Tuonyeshane tu heshima, tukuwe na discussion ambayo ni mzuri, ambayo inaweza komboa nchi, inaweza komboa, hata mimi inaweza nikomboa, unaona? Kwa sababu kuna mara mingi hapa kuna watu ambao wameniambia vitu ambazo mimi sikukuwa najua, wamenirekebisha, unaona? Na hiyo ndio kitu mzuri, unaona? Tunarekebishana na hivyo ndio watu wanakuwa. So mimi nawasihi, nawaomba kabisa, nawaomba tukuwe na mazungumzo ambayo ina manufaa kwa sisi wenyewe, kwa nchi, na kwa watu wote ambao labda kuna mtu ambaye atatoka siku moja kuja aone hapa, kweli atasema hao Wakenya walikuwa nafanya kazi nzuri. Mimi nawasihi sana. Nawasihi tuachane na mambo ya ukabila. Ukabila haitasaidia. Tuachane mambo ya ukabila. Kama tutakuwa tunakosoleana, tukosoleane kwa heshima, lakini tusikosoleane kwa kutukana ama kuonesha mtu madharau, si vyema. Utaona umuhimu sana sana, mimi naongelea sana sana watu ambao washasafiri nje. Ukisafiri nje upate Mkenya, unaona kama umepata ndugu yako. Unaona kama umepata ndugu yako. Ukipata unasikia we ni Mkenya, basi ndugu yangu uko hapa, umeingia, tutakusaidia nini na nini umekosa. There are times even here where we are, especially when you come abroad, sometimes to navigate is not very easy. The only way you can navigate is if you find somebody who has been there. But if you find a Kenyan, whether it's coming from Rift Valley, coming from Central, coming from Nyanza, coming from Coast, provided he's a Kenyan, and it becomes your responsibility and show this guy the way. You don't even look like your tribe. Wezi sema kwamba wewe ni Central, we don't agree with you politically. Because one thing that if you don't do, itakuwa ni burden kwako, kwa sababu kila wakati labda atakuwa nakwambia bana, nipatie pesa hii ama nipatie ride. You have to navigate the way with them. And that Kenyan spirit, that brotherism of a system, that's what works. It's and if you're on the comment section and wewe uko nje ya nchi, uko kwa comment section, and tell me how hard it is, especially when you come and you want to start the journey, and you don't have. I tell you, these are true stories. There are those people who came and did not find anybody to give them the way. I tell you, some of them have ended up on the streets just because pali alienda hakukuwa ameona Mkenya fulani ambaye anaweza kumuonesha njia. Lakini ukipata bahati kupata Mkenya ambayo labda ameingia na bado ana, unapata kwamba unajipata unamsaidia tu kwa sababu ni Mkenya, uangalii ni kabila fulani ama nini, unaona. So tuweke tu ikue vizuri, mandugu zangu. Mimi nawasihi, nawaomba tusiende hapo. Tuhubiri amani. Kama kuna mtu labda nimemkwaza hapo au maneno ambayo nimesema, mimi nitakuwa nakuomba msamaha kama nimekukwaza kwa maneno ambayo nimesema. Mimi wote ni marafiki zangu na mimi sitaki kukosea mtu heshima, lakini tusaidie tujenge this platform so that it can be a platform where we reason. Ile tu we reason tu vizuri, tunasema hapa tulikosea, hapa ni hivi, tunaweza irekebisha aje. Kwa sababu ukiangalia mfumo wa siasa zetu, wanasiasa wakongwe, hawa watu sio adui, hao ni marafiki wa jadi, hao ni mandugu na madada. Hata ukiangalia wakati appointment zinafanywa, wale ambao wamepigana sana hawajawahi pata nafasi. Kuna wamama wengi ambao watoto wao walienda maandamano wakapoteza maisha yao, mpaka wa leo hii bado wanalia. Kuna watoto wadogo wachanga ambao walipoteza baba yao, bado wanalia, lakini hawajawahi patikana katika meza kuu wakati mambo inajadiliwa ama ile sahihi inaweka ile ya ukutanisho. Tunakutana leo, tunataka lakini ikifika pali nyadhifa zitakuwa zinapeanwa, wewe mwenyewe mwende ulikaa katika barabara, labda ndugu yako akapoteza maisha, mpaka wa leo hajawahi pata na bado anasononeka. Tafadhali wangwana, mandugu zangu, madada zangu, tafadhali nawasihi, nawaomba tupandishe hadhi zetu kwa heshima. Tupandishe hadhi zetu, tukuwe na mazungumzo ambayo inafaa, tukuwe na mazungumzo ambayo inatupatia heshima. Yeah. Yeah. Asante sana, mi nakubaliana na kila mtu, but tuangalie hii mambo ya kutoheshima, kutukana kabila si mzuri sana. Mi nawaomba Makubura, maybe if you have something to say.
Okay, yeah, maybe mine is also just to preach peace and love, because it is good for us as a people to be united, because the political class are united. If we see them disagree, if they pretend that they've disagreed, it doesn't mean that that is the truth of the matter. So let us not get emotional, especially when we see them having disagreed. Because, for example, Ruto and Raila, at some point they did disagree. Currently, they're working together. Martha Karua and Raila, at some point, they disagreed. They worked together. The political class love each other, and more of what they care about, of course, is their interest. And whenever the interest, of course, converge, they will always work together no matter what. So let us not be blinded by, what we see, the outward of what we see. Let that not help us in making the decisions which we have, whether political or, the decision that we use on our daily lives. It is good for us to unite. Let us not look at the tribal nature of or where someone is coming, because again, I think the problem that we've always had as a people is sometimes if we tend to follow these political surrogates, the likes of Gaucho, the likes of, I don't know, Moss 1 Hour. Those people are being paid to peddle such kind of conversations. And that's how they survive. That's how they even get their daily money. And more of what they do is simply to speak hatred. And when they speak, it doesn't mean that they represent, for example, a specific group. That is what they thrive on. Let us not hear such kind of comments, and then we tend to make decisions based on what, for example, Gaucho what the likes of Gaucho are talking about. Let us be Kenyans, and let us be united by all those things that we go through as a people. I think that way we will manage. Maybe to my good friends, One Dem 99, Eric Ayaga, and my take, it is good to have different political stance, but let us not get to the emotional side, because when we allow ourselves to be driven by the emotions, or when we tend to make decisions or reason when we are emotionally activated, then we tend to get out of our minds. We tend to speak or to say things which are not really uniting. Just like One Dem was saying, just like Eric was saying, through this kind of channels or media platforms, you've met people. Personally, I did not know Batseba and Wari. I did not know One Dem 99. I did not know Eric. But we've gotten to know each other. Maybe one of these days we might maybe plan to meet. And if we meet, we are going to meet as friends. We are going to meet as people who met at Brother Benson Media. And we might share much. And that's how even friendship always starts. Maybe you haven't told them that me and you, and even Miguda, we never knew each other. We met at these platforms and we started having conversations and we became friends. That's what we want. That's how things should go. So to our good friend, one day 99 Eric Ayaga, my take, kindly, when maybe you are giving your opinion, of course your opinion counts. Let it not be an opinion that is going to activate emotions of fellow viewers, because if you activate, or if Eric activates, or my take, or anyone, then it inatutoa hata kwa mada. We tend to get out of the mada and we simply talk about something that is not what we had planned. More of what we are doing here is uniting the people. More of what we're doing here is we just want to change. We reason politically, and also we want to bring people together. We are preaching peace. That is more of what we are doing here. And yeah, so I think that's my take tonight. I can also see the leader of Gen Z, Judith Carreta, at the comment section.
Okay. To me, I'm sorry, Miguda, do you wanna say something, or you good?
Just allow me. I want to brief. If you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you, sir.
Okay. I don't like discussing these matters of maybe, because we believe that all of us are a bit, we are a bit different from the younger people. We understand how the world is complex and dynamics. I just want to talk about the connection and disconnection. The leadership of the country, all of them are connected to an extent that they are residing at current residence. They are deeply connected, and that is why you find people like Ruto and Raila working together after a long time, because they were there in 2007, they were connected. So after some time, they come back and connect again, because they were connected in terms of family, in terms of religion, many things. When they have been married in between, when their business in terms of agriculture, in terms of petroleum businesses, these people are connected. But you find us, majority of us who are residing in this land, we are disconnected. We are disconnected, but we are just the same people like them. We are Luos, we are Cukes, we are Kalenjins in this land, but we are disconnected because we want to align with the provision. And even in this channel, we never knew each other. The fact that Eric Ayaga is a Luo, we have never met Eric Ayaga, and we don't know Eric Ayaga until we come to this channel. But that doesn't mean that I don't have Cukes friend or Cukes. We are trying to say it is not hard feeling. Don't come like you feel like it's hard. It's just politics. Then the issue of the people, the issue of our channel was not established to come in and preach the gospel of a certain petition. That was not a business, because we are not being paid here to propagate whether Raila, Ruto, or anybody. When the channel was established, if you look at the bio, it's very clear that we wanted to develop the cultural and the political and economic of the African context. We wanted to link it in the global perspective of the politics, the developments of our culture, and the progressive of our culture. That was the aim of the channel, but it was not partisan. I think that's what I wanted to say.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Miguda and Makobura. And I'm still pleading with all of us, especially in this platform. Majority of you, I think I know you, one dem 99 from far. he was the first person who came and supported my channel, and he has always been a friend of mine through social media. Then we have Gypsy, then we have Ayaga, and all of us who are here. To me, what I usually believe in, it's what I believe in, and I believe in legacy, especially what can you do so that you leave a legacy, especially because I believe if where you live, if you cannot bring change where you are, then in the environment where you are, then that one kind of like makes me not feel well. And I love my friends, especially the friends, the politics friend, and now we have here, and all of you. And what I would want to encourage all of us, we are not perfect. Kwa Kiswahili tunasema kwamba sisi ni viumbe dhaifu. Nimependa kuongea Kiswahili sana, mtaniwia radhi. Sisi ni viumbe dhaifu. Tumeumbwa na makosa yetu, ama tumeumbwa na udhaifu wetu. Hakuna yule binadamu tunaweza sema kwamba amekamilika. Kila mtu ako na udhaifu wake. Lakini unaweza pata kwamba udhaifu wangu inaweza kuwa ni nguvu yako, pahali ambapo hapo udhaifu wangu unaona unaweza nisaidia na ni ikamilike kwa usaidizi wako. Hiyo ndio jambo ambalo mimi nawaomba sana sana, ambao sisi tunakutana hapa brother Benson. Mimi nataka tu kuwasihi tu kwa njia nzuri. Tutakuwa na mazungumzo, ndio tunaweza pitishana kwa hoja, lakini tupitishane kwa hoja ambayo ziko na okay, sawa. Kama okay, this is something kama ndio sasa bro Benson, leo mimi na Yaga upea mechi za siasa hata kule nje tukikutana nikinaiva. Okay, sawa, kama hiyo ni sawa na nyinyi, sawa. Yeah. Kama it's okay with the two of you, then that's okay. Yeah. But sitakuwa nimefurahi nikisikia kwamba labda umekasirika kwa sababu labda jambo ambayo Yaga alisema, na pia Yaga pia kasirika kwa jambo ambayo alisema, kwamba unaona kama inakukosesha heshima. Mimi kama mko sawa na hizo, sawa. Na pia usitaki kwamba useme tuone kama sisi ndio tunaweza kuwa tuko pabaya. Kama mko sawa rafiki zangu, mimi sina shida. Lakini kama mtu anaona kinyongo, basi hapo ndio labda sasa naweza ingilia. Lakini kitu ambacho mimi ningependa kuambia kwamba mimi naye na waheshimu, sawa, na waheshimu na wathamani, kwa sababu labda naweza toa tu, kwa sababu unajua katika dunia hii ukipata kama mtu anaweza chukua muda wake takriban saa moja akuwe na wewe na achukue muda wake, kwa sababu unapata labda anakuwa anaweza enda kazini akupatie hiyo muda, huyo ni mtu ambaye anathamani na anakuamini, na pia itabidi umuelewe. Yeah? Ndio maana mimi huwa nathamani watu wetu ambao wako hapa, ama kama saa zingine tutakuwa wachache, lakini mimi naona kwamba heshima yangu kwangu na thamani ambao mnanipa huwa inanipatia faraja, kuaminisha kuwa kuna mtu mahali ambao anathamani kitu ambacho mimi nasema, unaona, na mimi hiyo inanipatia furaha sana. Lakini kama hamna chuki baina yenu, ni mambo tu ya kisiasa na labda kuchangamka game, venye wale ambao wako katika mziki wanasema kwamba leo lazima tuchangamshe game, ni sawa ndugu zangu, mimi siwezi kataa. Lakini labda kama ni kitu ambacho labda kinaweza leta chuki, basi hapo ndakuwa na tashwishi kidogo. Wacha sasa, sio mkituana muache kuchanaka. Sawa, mimi sasa hapo nimeinua mkono nikasema basi Ayaga na nani vita sasa, nyinyi mtakuwa mna nini vita zenyu, hatutakuwa tunaingilia. Mimi sina nini, lakini mimi natamani tukue na kama ni vizuri, mimi huwa siingili. Kama ni vizuri, labda kama kuna mtu ambaye ako na jambo labda anaweza kusema pale ambao labda tujasema vizuri, atukosoe sisi pia tupate kuelimika. Maybe on the comment section, if there's something that you want to say on comments that we've made where you feel we've not done it the right way, you can also correct us, because we are not very perfect. There are places we can say some words that are not okay with you. You can correct us, and so that we move on in unison and peace, love, and that unity. Tomorrow we will be discussing about, because one thing that I was trying to look for another guest, and the problem is now it is quite much difficult for them, especially the guest leaders, because they are very careful on what they want to say. So what they tend to do, they tend not to come to the show, because they believe everything that umesema labda unaona itaharibu mambo ya siasa zao. So hiyo ndio unapata saa zingine nakuwa na shida sana, kwa sababu ukiangalia hapo awali, wakati tulikuwa tumeanza, nilikuwa na bahati ya kuleta wageni kila wiki, takriban wageni wawili ambao wako katika siasa, na saa hizi inakuwa ni vigumu sana. Ukijaribu kuongea nao, mtu anakuambia anakupeleka hivi, labda kwa sababu maneno ambao watasema labda inaweza waletea shida. So nadhani maybe I don't know for how long, but at one point watakuja kurejea, labda wanangoja siasa the handshake ikue imara na wache wenye huko wakue pia, ndio sasa wanaweza kuja. Kwa hayo machache, mimi sina mengi ya kusema, labda kama somebody in the comment section has something to say. Then before we wind up, mapenzi iko lakini watu ushuka. Judith Kawitha, kabisa kazi yetu ni utani. Sawa, nimekubali ya. Kama utani mimi sina shida. Ayaga na Wandem wamezoea kutaniana. Aha, sawa tu. Mimi niko vizuri.
Maybe if you can allow me to say something.
Yeah.
You can hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Makubura.
Yeah, I agree with the comments of I mean the views of Wandem 99. I agree with the views of Eric and maybe my take.
Yeah.
But again, of course, if they are willing or they are okay with continuing with such, it is okay.
Yeah.
It is them to make the decision. But I don't think if, for example, there are so many people, people have different views, people have different thinking, people have different political stance. I don't think it is right for them to just expose, because if someone goes through or someone comes in and then they see the kind of conversation that is going on, they might not know whether these gentlemen know each other. They might not know what kind of conflict is going on. So part of that is not really good to me.
Oh, okay. You see, what is happening is this: if they all agree, yeah, because like if they all agree that it's okay, then ni sawa tu, yeah. But that is kama itakuwa ni sawa, unaona, kama wamekubaliana kwamba itakuwa ni sawa, then mimi sina shida, kwa sababu mimi na waheshimu wote, hao ni marafiki zangu. Sasa ni ile hao tukubaliana na ya nani, ndio Wandem anasema hao na Yaga ni utani tu ya kila siku, labda ni watu ambao wanajuana kwa vilemba, so ni vizuri sana. Yeah, so sasa kesho pia mkuje, tuchache, tutaniane, tukue na mazungumzo. Mi ndafurahi sana. La mwisho kwamba mimi nawatakia kila laheri, Dwari, Wandem 99, Judith, and we do this everywhere. Sawa my brother, kama ni hivyo mimi niko sawa. Sasa kesho pia nawaomba, tomorrow I'm planning to have a discussion about the president. No, I respect you too, my brother, because we've come a long way. We've come a long way. I think we came all the way from Tembei and all that mpaka tukafika hapa. So unajua tumetoka mbali. So tomorrow I'm trying to have a conversation, and I'm trying to look for a guest. We are looking at when the president will be visiting Mount Kenya. Will he go with facts or lies? Because like there's some pronouncement that president has made that people feel like these are not very factual. And ile tu ya kuchochanisha. So tomorrow we'll be discussing about that, and you are highly welcome to join the conversation. With all that, I respect you all, and thank you so much, everyone, for taking your time to be with us for almost 2 hours. It is usually not easy for somebody to give you 2 hours of their time just to be on your platform and just to listen and have a conversation with them. And may I take this opportunity to thank you all, and may God bless you all till we meet tomorrow, same place, same time. May God bless you.